Hey, welcome to the Big Bite here with Sunny and Shay on Brit Asia TV. Today, we are going to give you a bit of entertainment. Obviously, we've got a chef who's going to teach you how to cook. And before all of that, we're going to talk about something that affects all of us.
We certainly are. It's Brit Asia's own Dal Daliwal, who is a health and fitness expert, and she joins us in the studio today to talk all things related to exercise. Thank you so much for coming in.
Hi guys, thank you for having me on.
Well,
no worries at all. We love watching Fit Asia, and it's definitely got us in the mood to get a bit more healthy, I should say. But
Anyway.
well, yeah, he doesn't do it as much as he should. But kind of for yourself, someone who's a health and fitness expert, what are the questions that you get asked the most?
Okay. Well, the number one question I get asked is, how can I get a six-pack? That seems to be what everyone's concerned about.
That's him, yeah.
So women or men, that's the most popular question, yeah.
Right.
Do you want to know the answer to that?
Yes.
My simple answer to that is, it doesn't matter how many crunches you do, if you don't clean out your diet,
Right.
you're not going to get those abs to show.
So do you have to eat a lot of carrots?
No, you don't. You just need to sort of have a look at your food, what you're eating, try and eliminate all the processed food in there, and so all your sugars, your simple carbs, like your breads and your sugars and salt and all your fizzy drinks.
How long do you have to do that for? Because so far, all you've described is me eating brown toast.
Yeah, right.
That's all that I could see. That I started eliminating stuff out of my diet, and all I've
Yeah.
got left is a brown piece of toast.
Well, we need to eat healthy,
Right.
first of all. So if you'll know if your diet's not healthy. What you would do is eliminate one bad food
Okay.
a week. Instead of making huge changes in 1 week, try and, if you know you have a lot of salt, for instance, you know, cut back on your salt. It's not making a change just for temporary, it's like making a lifetime commitment. So you don't have to eat brown bread. I mean, healthy eating is quite, you know, it's good if you know how to cook, what to cook. And with Google, there's so many recipes out there that you can just download now. So you're a vegetarian, vegan, you'll have some nice healthy recipes. You like to eat meat, you'll have some nice recipes. So it's making small changes. It's not surviving on bread and carrots. It's not about that.
You listed some of the stuff that is a staple of our culture, number one, because you go to a wedding, and when you're saying, oh, I'm not diet, psh, what are you talking, man? Eat it, eat it.
Yeah.
You'll diet when you die. So you know what I mean? One of those ones. So how do you then, you know, with the pressure of going to weddings, about going to birthday parties, or even socializing, how do you implement that kind of change into those scenarios?
Well, the occasional indulgence is okay.
Right.
So we're not trying to develop, I'm not endorsing a bad relationship with food. What I'm saying is, to eat, this is what you need to eat to keep healthy. But occasionally there's going to be times where perhaps you can't make the right choices, and it's okay, long as it's not happening every day, it's not a habit. So that's what I'm saying.
Go on.
I was going to say, in terms of the right kind of foods, because often you're told stay away from dairy, then you're told stay away from salt, then you're told stay away from sugar. I mean, you know, there are a lot of fad diets that people do tend to get involved with. You could say in the UK you'll have a diet of the month, perhaps. You know, is that the right way to go? Is it good to kind of perhaps go with the diet first, get rid of the weight, and then start eating healthy? How does it work?
Right. First of all, a lot of diets will not work in the long term. So, as you've just mentioned, there's a lot of diets out there. So the general public are very confused. And you do get your serial dieters who will try one diet and then they'll go to another. They'll lose weight.
Right.
But for instance, let's take without mentioning any diets, a shake diet.
Right.
You're going to have shakes every day, you're going to lose weight, which is great. But how long are you going to have shakes for? You're going to have shakes for the rest of your life. You're not. So it's better to educate yourself on what nutrients to have, what food you should be eating.
Right.
And make small changes, gradual changes. And like I said, healthy eating isn't boring. It's not about carrots and eating bread. And say, for instance, our diets, I mean, we do, you know, have a lot of carbs in our diets. Like we have, for instance, chapatis, roti and stuff. Just go wholemeal, you know, do a few little switches here and there. And with your rices as well, go wholemeal rice occasionally. Make small changes so they become a habit, so you don't feel deprived.
And what about not having them in the kitchen in the first place, so you can't go to them? Like, if you don't buy them, you can't use it.
That's
Do you know
it.
what I mean?
You've got the answer there. That's great. If you haven't got it in the kitchen, so for instance, if you're craving something, you're going to go to your kitchen. Maybe, for instance, it's chocolate or something. There's no chocolate in the house. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
You might go out and get it.
Yeah, but that's a
very
lot of work.
likely you want it then and then, quick.
Yeah,
right?
that's very true.
So,
what about, like, you know, we often hear about people who like to midnight snack, and we're always told you shouldn't really eat after a particular time, whether that's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. If you are one of those people who's trying to cut out midnight snacking and get rid of things like the chocolate that you might have at, I don't know, 11 o'clock, or a chocolate biscuit, whatever it may be, is there an alternative to replace that with, so that you can slowly get to the point where you're not having midnight snacks, but at least if you do need to have a snack, you're having the healthier option?
Right. If you're craving food late at night, you need to look at what you're doing during the day.
Right.
Are you starting your day off with a good breakfast? Because often when we get really hungry and we crave sugar and whatever, you know, you're craving at midnight, it's usually a sugary or processed food. It's because our sugar levels have dropped. So have a look at what you're doing during the day. Make sure you're fueling yourself consistently during the day. And the likelihood you probably don't want a midnight snack because you'll be eating during the day.
Right.
So what about the rise in diabetes within our community and heart, heart disease and all that kind of stuff? How can people who are, you know, watching this show right now thinking, you know what, my family has diabetes in it. I'm probably going to get it in the future. So how can they start changing their, let's say, lifestyle so that they don't have to go into the medication, so they don't go into the same way that their parents or grandparents have gone through?
Right. First of all, if they are very confused where to make the changes, they should seek the help of a professional.
Right.
That's what I always say, first of all, if you're really confused. Because, again, if you go back on Google, you're going to get confused with all the information out there. If there is a history of diabetes, it's essential that you make the changes in your diet as well, because you're probably more prone, perhaps, to develop it. Not always, but more likely. So make the changes. You need to include the activity. And, again, it comes to nutrition. So it's quite simple. You just got to look at your nutrition and your activity. I say simple. What I'm saying, there's only two things that you have to look at.
What about exercise? What kind of exercise can people implement just by walking around the house? I know that most ladies do more exercise than the men because, you know, and some of the children do more exercise than the men in the house as well because they're cleaning. And the men come in and say, oh, I've been working all day. I'm going to sit in front of the sofa because I need no more exercise, even though they might have an office job. But still, the mental strain is like also a sort of drain where you do physically feel drained out.
Yeah. That individual has to change their mindset, first of all. They need to look at why are they drained out. OK, you've got a full-on job, but are you fueling yourself during the day as well? Because you should be able to handle your job as well, depending on whatever job you've got as well. Starting off with exercise is easy. You can start walking. The basic, free, cheap, easy. Just get yourself a decent pair of walking shoes, trainers. Get yourself out there. And with the weather
how long should you? I mean, yeah, you're right. The weather's lovely at the moment. But if you're going to start off for someone who hasn't done any exercise or very low exercise, how long should you be walking every day? Because you shouldn't just go into like trying to do half a marathon or
definitely
something like that.
Again, first of all, if you're concerned, get your GP approval and get yourself checked out. If you're completely new to exercise, you need to start off slow and gradual. So, like you said, don't go and sign up for a marathon. You know, if you've never walked before.
See, now I've got a better idea. Maybe they should just tune into Brit-Asia.
They could
because
do that as well.
They've got this show on Brit-Asia. I don't know if you heard about it. This beautiful lady presents it, and you know, she's easy on the eyes. She's Mrs. Motivator of Brit-Asia.
Oh gosh.
So, have you heard of this show?
Oh, actually, that just conjured up these images of his name. Oh my gosh, 80s music. They could do that. I mean, that's the best way you can do it in the living room.
Yes.
Because a lot of the things I do on the show can be done in the living room. You are very low maintenance with equipment, so that's the whole idea of being able to, you know, follow that show and do the workouts, and we give technique advice. So it's not sort of copying someone else in a gym that you've seen doing. It's a professional teaching you, actually, this is the correct way to do it.
On today's segment, we're going to do a leg workout, a little mini circuit. We're going to start off with lunges, single leg lunges. You ready, Bath? Okay, so changing legs. So her posture is really good to start off with. She's going to place her hands on her hips and she's going to step forward with her right leg, and the whole body weight goes down, and then she's going to go back up and change. That's excellent. Great job. Keep going for me, Bath. Good. That's good. So the knee is over the toe line. So we're making sure that knee doesn't shoot over the toe line, and she's gently springing back up, really working the front of that thigh as well. That's excellent. Keep going for me, Bath. Give me 4 more. Great job. Keep the rib cage up. Keep the head slightly lifted for me. 2 more. That's good. Give me 1 more. Great job. Great job. Now we're going to do lunges concentrating on one leg at a time. So Bab is going to do 10 reps on one leg and 10 reps on the other side. 10 repetitions, good. Keeping that rib cage up, focusing forward, keeping that chin slightly up as well. That's excellent for me. Keep going. That's good. So keeping that knee above the toe line again. Okay, just give me one more. So we'll go for 5 reps on each leg. That'll give us 10. Ready to switch, Bav? Switch legs. Here we go. That's 1 and 2. So make sure you keep a gap between those legs when you go back, because that'll keep your balance. Otherwise you will lose balance if you haven't got that gap between the legs. Give me 2 more, Bav. Perfect. Last one. Great job. Our next exercise is side steps and side lunges. Side steps being a little bit easier. So are we ready, Bav? So that's a little lunge. Keep going for me. That's good. So she's dropping her body weight down and she's making sure she's leaning to one side, but her torso is facing forward.
And with that, what would you say to anyone who's watching right now, who's a parent? Because the one aspect that we do often forget, you know, we've talked about diets, we've talked about exercise, but actually nowadays children are not as active as they used to be in our generation. Children, you know, do have their tablets, they're playing computer games, they're constantly at home, sat down, and they're not getting out and about and perhaps playing in the garden or, you know, doing scouts or something like that. What would you say to parents watching and kind of trying to encourage their children to do exercise? What's the best way to do that?
First of all, every parent's different, so it comes down to your parenting skills. I have 3 daughters, and I'm quite, well, they're older now, but I was quite strict with them. This is the time to be on your, you know, iPads, whatever they were doing, and this is the time you need to be active. And again, the parents should get involved with the children, because if you're doing things as a family, you're going to have lots of fun, you're going to really enjoy it. Instead of just making it like pushing the kids out, go and go for a walk, go for a do this, go for a bike ride. Try and get involved with the children, because, you know, we need to work out and keep fit. And that's a good way. If the kids know you're getting involved, it's a good way of doing it.
How can people follow you? Where can get more information about what you do and your advice? Are you on Twitter, Facebook? Are you on website?
I'm everywhere.
Good.
First of all, they can watch the show, which is on a Thursday at 2:30 for Tasia.
And I'm sure it's also repeated as well. It's also repeated.
You can follow me on Twitter at DalDaliwellPT, Facebook Dal Daliwell, and my website is www.bodyperfectpt.com. So I have got fitness studio that I run.
Fantastic. So it's Body Perfect.
Body Perfect PT. Personal training.com.
Okay, bodyperfectpt.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
On the show, and fingers crossed we'll perhaps get Sonia and I doing a little bit more exercising with Dal very, very soon. We'll start on that whilst you go to a break.